For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure to select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices.
Street Sharks!
And if that doesn't give away what we're doing tonight, I don't know what will.
Episode.
Nobody knows.
Oh, that's true. We don't know what episode this is because it is a
Submersible Pod. Street Sharks!
Yes, we are all piled into our submersible. What's the submersible of the wet floater? Did we ever decide what that was?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we did. We'll have to think about it.
Oh, yeah.
The first person to email us gets to name it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All those super fans out there.
And don't forget, we have now just also launched our Discord server. So get in there, talk all the crazy fandom up, do all that stuff.
Wow. I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Did you tweet it out? Is that what happened?
We will be tweeting it out.
There we go.
So it's not tweeted out yet, though.
Not yet.
And also, if this episode comes out in like a few months, we may be behind the times. So
people already know. People's already going to be all over it.
That's true.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know how to even introduce what we're actually watching other than with Street Sharks.
Street Sharks!
Occasionally, the USS Wetfloater encounters mysteries even deeper than it can explore. In cases such as these, a crack team of experts board our submersible and plumb the deepest depths of submarine pop culture. This is Mackey's Second Floor Studio presents Submersion, a Submersible Pod.
This is an amazing animated series from 94 to 97.
Yep.
It currently disgusts me that it only holds a 6.4 on IMDb.
Wow.
That is bogus. It should be way higher.
That's true.
By the way, that's astonishingly low for a television series.
Yeah, television series are always like way higher. On Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, they're like, I don't even know why necessarily on IMDb, but yeah, this is much more lenient to TV series in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think all you really need to know about this is this tagline that just says, well, the description of the show, 4 brothers are accidentally transformed into half shark, half human.
True.
Half shark, half man, fighting evil, that's the plan. Street Sharks!
Street Sharks!
It is a very amazing theme song.
It's actually best. This is the second theme song, so the first theme song is not as good. The second one, this is the second one, and it's amazing. Oh my God.
It's very like, it reminded me of like a Team America-esque style song. It's just like so in your face.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome. It's so jawsome. Sorry, I didn't want to say
yes,
awesome.
we didn't. Definitely not awesome.
It kicks you right in the face and lets you know you're in for an action-packed ride.
And it's straight out of like the 80s/90s because there's like this saxophone solo going on the entire time that is
so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Jawsome.
Yes, it is.
We're going to have to really watch those awesomes for this one.
Yeah, we can't.
Because we have a lot of times that we talk something is awesome, but we got to make sure we can say it's jawsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how else to say it. I watched the beginning, the first episode, before even watching this one, or part of it at least, just to understand the backstory. And yet, more or less, you summed it up correctly, which is like an evil scientist turns these 4 brothers of like a rival, I think, rival scientist of some sort, into these half sharks, half humans.
It's his
and then
partner.
they become right, yeah. And then they almost immediately become jawsome, and they escape. And then they're with like a guy who lives under a pizza store or something.
I think it's supposed to be his brother. I think it's his brother. They're brothers. I think one of the brothers doesn't
the
get...
fifth brother?
Yeah, I think there's a 5th brother. I think.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but he's like an inventor, and he has like a basement layer where he invents stuff for the Street Sharks, and that's where they all live. It's more it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Almost.
Ripster, the main leader, the Leonardo of the group, is a scientist that does a lot of experimenting and inventing. So it could be that one that you're referring to.
No,
No,
the
they're
human.
talking
I
about
remember
the human guy, the guy that wears like
Oh,
you have a
yeah.
bandana on and the glasses. You know, he's like, oh, I'm the cool guy.
Yeah. And so when the series started, it was like they live under where he works, and he helps them like invent and fix stuff.
Let me
Not at all
check the
like
Street Sharks
Mutant
wiki.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually a pizza shop that they live under, which
Seriously?
is crazy. I think so, but you'd have to check that.
It's
Yeah, I
unbelievable.
wish it was like a Euro shop or something.
Right.
Like, what is this?
We love Euros.
And I'll say, after watching this, I had to watch multiple other episodes just to kind of get more of a flavor of the Street Sharks.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most banana shows I've ever watched. They're busting up. They're teaching kids about drugs. There's so many special episodes. The entire thing is just everything you'd want a very cheap knockoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to do in the late 90s. Yeah.
So anyways, this is what the episode we watched is actually way into the series. This is season 3, episode 19, 20,000 Sharks Under the Sea.
Oh.
I see what they did
play
there.
on that.
Yeah. They also
Although
use
it
that
still
term
makes no
incorrectly during
Yeah, they do.
during the show.
Don't worry, I noted that.
Oh my
They do
God.
not use the term league correctly, and I'm just like, I just don't understand, because there's moments where you feel like the writing where they're trying to be smart. And they say something where you're like, what? And then you're like, this is so weird that they would make that joke as if a child would know this.
Oh, dude, there's some
But
next level stuff going on.
But they're
for a
like
kids
throwing
show.
around stuff. And then they're like, they misuse league. And it's just like, now I'm confused.
When did they use it in the show? Well, I guess we'll have to.
They
get
said,
into it.
well, anyways, yeah, we'll get to it. Anyway, should we read the theme song? I think we
Yes.
should read the
So,
lyrics. Okay.
It starts out. It's incredible.
Yeah.
There's a new breed in the neighborhood. Some say they're just no good.
It's true. People don't like them. They're a little afraid of them maybe because they're monsters.
Yeah, half shark, half man.
Right.
Fighting evil. That's the plan.
But people don't know that because they're afraid of them. But that's their plan.
That's their plan.
They're street sharks, yeah.
Street sharks. Street sharks. They're jawsome.
They are jawsome.
They bite. They fight.
Oh, no.
They stand for everything. That's right.
Good. Okay, because the first two were a little scary. I was a little scared of them for a second.
Who
And
are
then
they
the latter
biting?
half, though, okay, good. Now they're standing for everything right. So they're probably biting people who are wrong.
Right.
Or biting crime.
Or biting, taking a bite out of crime.
And then they bite. They fight.
I'm scared again.
Chewing out evil with all of their might.
I feel like it's chewing up evil, not chewing out evil.
maybe.
Because that would be just like a tongue lashing.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe they're yelling at him.
chewing them out. And then intro, amazing saxophone solo.
Right.
Just lets it rip.
Yeah, and it goes on basically saxophone style for a while there, and you're like, it could go on for the whole episode as far as I'm concerned.
It's like next level, over the top, amazing intro song.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Okay,
Kyle, just play the clip already.
and now we're into the.
Jamie's like, what the hell, Kyle?
No. I think we got to get into this episode.
We have
because
to.
It gets a little boring from here because we spend the first 4 minutes of a 20-minute show not with the Street Sharks, and I'm like, boring. Where are the Street Sharks? I have the action figures. I got everything. I want Street Sharks in my face.
Yeah.
Instead, we're looking at a bathysphere on a research vessel, and it's like, what year is this? A bathysphere hasn't been used since like the 60s. Anyways.
Well, guess what, man? We've got it one.
Okay. And I'm like, when is this taking place? At first, I was like, maybe this takes place in the past, but you'll find out that it definitely 100% does not take place in the past, given the technology that people are using on submarines. And they're French, so I think it's a plan like Jacques Cousteau, the French researching.
Oh, okay.
And they go down to the fracture zone, and they see something, and the woman is real scared, and she's like, Pierre, get us the fuck out of here. Get us the fuck out of here. And she says it real
That's
weird.
exactly what they say.
Yeah.
on the kids show.
Right. And then they surface, but it's too late because a multi-headed monster attacks the ship.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this thing is like, I kept referring to it as a Hydra. I think they called it the Zilla monster.
No, Scylla. Yeah,
Scylla.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Another Greek monster.
Yeah, from Prison Break, right?
Yes.
Season 4 of Prison Break, they have to assemble the Scylla machine, but it was a terrible joke because no one's actually watched the 4th season of Prison Break.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that means.
But no, it has 4 heads.
Yeah, it's got 4 heads, and it's always like, wow! And it's clearly some person in like a recording booth being like, wow. And so anyways, we flash over to a military aircraft carrier, and they've saved the survivors. So everyone jumped off, and they kind of go out of their way in the series to make sure like no one kind of dies, even though you know in reality that a whole bunch of people are dead at this point. Almost certainly.
Oh, everybody on that aircraft carrier.
Oh, eventually, yeah. Right now, everyone on that research vessel, except for a few, have probably survived because there's people deep in the engine room, probably. They're not getting out of there. The ship's gone. They're done.
Yeah, do we even see the woman again?
Actually, not sure about the woman. You're right. I don't think we see the woman again.
Pretty sure there's a fighter pilot that dies too.
Well,
they keep on showing
without a doubt.
They keep on showing fighter pilots ejecting. And it's just like,
yeah,
okay,
come on.
There was one that I didn't see him eject. So,
and this is my favorite character was the
R.I.P.
Admiral because he is he's always unnecessary, like antagonistic to everything he says. It's like because some sort of mass psychosis, and then everyone's like, "Well, why are you yelling at me?" Like, no, my ship is gone. He's like, "It's like the Scylla in the Greek myths," and I was just like, "What?" Like, I'm an adult person, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What do you think?
Nobody has an idea.
Our kids gonna know this? It's like, what a strange thing to like throw into a children's show.
Dude,
it's like a Scylla.
These writers are on, like, we're all at this level, and they're just way up above us, man.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
And so anyways, the next scene we see a submarine pulled up to the aircraft carrier. The submarine's basically the size of that aircraft carrier. And I'm like, whoa, what year is this? This is like a crazy huge submarine.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's huge. And the crew that's going to be going on the submarine is pissed. Because what are they missing?
Dude, what's his name? El
Sordo. Okay, don't pretend like you don't. Don't say you don't know his name.
Is up on top of the deck, putting on the show of a lifetime.
It is crazy. Like we thought that things like spinning basketballs and stuff like that was amazing in movies and
Can't
stuff.
even hold a candle to what El Sordo's doing.
He is, first of all, he's chopping fruit all over the place. And at first you're like, oh, chopping fruit, whatever, fruit ninja over here, fine. And then it's not like people off to the side throwing fruit.
He
It's
got robots shooting fruit at him constantly.
It feels like a waste of money.
It does, because then he goes and kicks these robots in the chest, and they fucking explode.
I was like, dude, they're part of the act.
He destroyed. He's like, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't destroy them. They're helping you out. It's not like they're bad. They're just shooting fruit at you so you can chop it up.
Like, that would have been great. What's the military budget? $50 billion. How many robots can I buy?
And the crowd, but maybe he's got a point because the crowd is going nuts. Yeah, they are loving this. They love these robots exploding. Like literally, like when the robots are getting kicked in the chest and then they explode, they're like, yeah.
But dude, then it'd be great if they flashed over and you saw like a flyer for El Sordo 6 p.m. tonight canceled.
Yeah, you know the robots. I'm sorry, I destroyed them. I was just too jazzed. It's like a rock musician destroying his guitar. Like I don't have a guitar anymore. So then, anyways, the submarine's out and about. This is where they say the thing wrong because they say marking 20,000 leagues when they get to the rift.
Is that what they said?
They said it. And Patrick can confirm, right? That's what they said, right?
I literally just watched the show. Yes, that's what they say.
Yeah, it's not correct. They were misinforming children, and that's just wrong. They shouldn't be doing that.
Poisoning children's minds.
Yeah. Then they're like, oh, we got the best technology. We'll find this thing, and then the monster just attacks them.
Oh, like immediately.
They don't really have to search for that thing. It just jumps out and then it like crushes them.
Oh well, dude, they
battle.
They shoot some torpedoes at it.
And then what else do they shoot?
They shoot like a laser beam.
They shoot external neutron phasers at this thing.
Oh yes.
I was like, wait, what? I thought this was 1960 because you're using a bathysphere, but now someone's got lasers on this thing.
Oh yeah,
come on,
dude. And when they.
You can tell that it's far in the future because of how flippantly they destroy those robots. They don't even give a shit.
Also, yeah, it's true. They can get robots. And also, everyone seems pretty much, they're on the same page when it comes to a half human, half shark having been created by a scientist.
Yeah,
and then they're just like,
cool
okay, fine, whatever. And then El Sordo's there and it's half human, half marlin. And they're like, yeah, I mean, I guess since we had sharks, this makes sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you got to let them do their own thing.
Right.
It was also pretty incredible. They shoot a torpedo right at the Scylla. Scylla, and
I think it's a wrong. It's not a Scylla. Like they don't. It's not really a Scylla. They just called it because someone one time thought that it looked, or the description was like a Scylla. And then you look at it as like, that's not really what the Greeks was a Scylla. It's not really a Scylla in Greek mythology.
Who's to say?
I could tell you what a Scylla is, and I will later in trivia.
Oh,
so
okay,
don't worry
good.
about it.
So they shoot a torpedo at it. It deflects it. The torpedo goes flying and makes this giant, like, nuclear explosion.
Wait, are they shooting nuclear weapons at this thing?
It was incredible. And then nothing they can do, like everything they're launching at it, they can't do anything.
As the Street Sharks would say, it's got skin like a German tank, which is a reference that all children will know.
No, I know. I love that. It's hides as tough as a Sherman tank.
It's like what? Why would kids even? They don't know what that. Well, whatever. Teaching them something.
They know their audience.
I guess,
friend.
yeah. So, anyways, they're pulled into the fissure. We get a long sequence of the Street Sharks working, and they have this weird thing where they're like. It almost seems like it's like, well, why? How would the Street Sharks have all this technology ahead of time? I know. I'll have El Sordo hear what happened to the submarine, call the Street Sharks. Then when the Street Sharks naturally get a call from the President Horn, Dave Horn, they will have already worked a whole bunch on their stuff. And they'll tell David Horn, hey, by the way, El Sordo called us already, so we're set to go.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
we're just waiting for the go-ahead, man.
It just seems like they're unnecessarily like crossing all T's and dotting all I's for what audience is complaining about the lack of believability of how prepared the Street Sharks were for going after this monster.
Dude, they've got to...
So they need to make this whole roundabout thing about El Sordo calling them before the president calls them.
They have to. And then this is when they... really start getting into it because the Street Sharks are kind of talking about it. They said, "Oh, this thing is attacking everybody."
They're not just
and the
worried about it,
it's not. He's not necessarily worried about the submarine.
He is. Let's not be wrong.
Well, I mean, he is, right. But he's not like that's not the only reason.
But it's bigger, bigger than that.
Because this is a shipping lane.
Oh,
and let's say that monster takes down an oil tanker,
disaster,
and the one is like, "That's an environmental disaster,"
right?
And then the main one, Ripster, he's like. And he doesn't want this. This is close to an area of high tension.
Presumably, I can only presume North Korea.
Yeah.
That's all what we're thinking at this point, right? This is near North Korea.
And he's like, and we don't want an international incident.
Before people are like, hey, maybe it's... Yeah, before people say it's near some other place, they did make it clear this is the Pacific Ocean. Mm-hmm. It is an area of international issues going on. Where else is it? This is North Korea. We're in North Korea. Oh, my God.
It's actually plausible. What is this, 96? Yeah, that's plausible.
Oh, yeah.
Where else would it be? Really?
It is North Korea. Oh, my God. Well, I guess it's in the future, so who knows? Maybe it's like...
the moon.
Ecuador is having a lot of troubles nowadays. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways, so they head off on their way. They're flying out with all these like machines and shit, and they join in the fray, and they start attacking, like the monster's attacking, and they join in on like defending it.
And this is when there's already fighter jets engaging the monster, and it just makes like light work of those.
Yeah, and then they're like, just the weirdest quotes. Not only that one where it's hide is tougher than a tank. They had one where it was like, they got to look at his eyes, and there's no love light burning. And I was like, what? And I looked it up, and it's like an old time song, like a Louis Armstrong song, and then it was remade by Karen Carpenter and stuff, which is Love Lights, Keep the Love Light Burning. And I'm like,
really?
What in the fuck? Who? What?
I think you might have been watching the director's cut because I don't remember that one.
Well, no, you could barely hear it because one of the characters, the hammerhead, like mumbles all his lines, so you can barely understand him. There's another point where they all spoke at once, so I was just like, "This is incomprehensible." There's no possible way you could actually understand what they said. They're like, "Blah, blah, blah." It's like, what?
And the one guy kept on being just like, "Yeah, Jawsome, time to fly," and just like, cool.
Which one was that? Was that Streaks?
I don't know, the young guy.
Was he the one with the rollerblades?
Yeah.
Yes,
the orange one.
Light blue one.
I don't know any of these
Big
characters.
Slamu's the orange one.
Slamu's the big brown one.
Yeah.
It's orangish brownish, yeah.
And then Jab is the hammerhead.
And he's not an orca, right?
No, he's a whale shark.
So it's weird. Why they do a play on Shamu? He's an orca.
There is an orca
later, or probably around now.
Yeah, Moby Lick.
There. And Moby Lick was a whale. What's going on here? Get out of here.
Moby Lick is the killer whale.
Oh yeah, I used to have that toy, and like the tongue would you could spin it, and it would all like spin around.
This is all
amazing,
misnamed, but fine. So, anyways, they try to tie it up. They try to get his head all tied up, but it doesn't really work. And then it only retreats when it explodes a bunch of gasoline on the aircraft carrier, and it's like ew, and it like hurts his eyes or something.
This is actually my favorite part.
It's like his eyes is like, my eyes sting, and they went back into the ocean.
I was just saying, this is my favorite part because they literally are going, everyone's like running around on the ship like they're idiots. And one guy just so gently tips over this barrel, and it rolls so slowly and then just fucking explodes. And it's just like, why would that do that? And then they run over, and they're trying to put out the fire, and the guy gets startled.
They definitely have it's a safety protocol here because they go through like really long sequences, relatively speaking, long sequences of them like going out and trying to put out the fire and trying to do all this stuff where you're just like, why would you even show this?
Yeah, they're trying to put the fire, and then the guy gets startled by the Scylla monster and drops his fire extinguisher, which then explodes. Which is like that's the Scylla monsters, and like, oh, that's a little bit too much, and then runs away. It just, the whole sequence is like very strange. But
it's incredible. And here El Sordo also saves a life.
Yeah, and I always say El Sordo is actually doing some pretty crazy shit. Like, they have all these flying machines. El Sordo's jumping and like onto the top of the monster multiple times. And I was like, whoa, that's actually pretty brave.
Yeah. No, he's
got a shout out to El Sordo.
He's going above and beyond right now.
Yeah. He's also the only one who apparently can breathe underwater, despite the fact that they all have gills. Yeah. They all have gills.
So crazy. We'll get to that one. Yeah. So anyways, they kind of regroup. The Admiral comes out, and he is very polite, but seemingly very angry, because he's like, oh, pardon me. Like, and you just do this, and they told me they have to give you the mission, and you stay out of my way. And he like walks away. I was like, huh, that was weird. He seemed like to have no problem with handing over this mission to the Street Sharks, but also sounded like he was really pissed off.
But so also this is something I thought was just really interesting for a kid's show. They're like, how much oxygen do they have left on the submarine? Mm-hmm. He's like, about 6 hours.
6 hours.
Wait, kids are concerned with this stuff?
Yeah, because you got to know how long they're going to survive.
You have to, man. You got to be
Well, it didn't even come into play later. We'll get to that. But then it's just like, they ran into air. We got to take the risk. So anyways, they head into the water, and they all have to wear suits. I'm like, what are the gills
diving
just superficial?
Suits.
Like, I'm confused.
And then like the normal human guy, he's in the
bathysphere.
The bathysphere.
Souped up though. Don't worry. He souped that up.
He crossed some wires.
He made some super shark lights or whatever. Shark lights they activate. And then
they're like brighter than the sun.
100 times brighter than the lights before, because they're shark ones. And he's like a whiz, a science whiz.
He looks like a whiz.
Right.
An electrical whiz. Like Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah. They all get dorsal. They lure them. They go down. 3 of them go down. They lure the monster out. The monster is fucking fast, but
they can haul fin, bro.
Right. And they got some NOS, so they just press their little NOS button. Boop. Maybe that's why they need the suits. Think about that, Patrick. You didn't think about that, did you?
I didn't think about that. But why do they have helmets?
They would need the helmets. They don't need the helmets.
Yeah.
That part made no sense. It blew my mind. Why? You're a shark. Can you not swim?
Yeah, I don't know. But then El Sordo goes down.
I should just say that I knew this from the beginning because they were preparing air tanks, and I'm sitting there being like, but why do you need air tanks? You have. I can see your gills.
I think the problem is that they actually breathe pure helium.
Okay, I think we've talked about their superficial gills long enough. Go on.
So, anyways, they got El Sordo and another. That's the one that goes with El Sordo. Is he the leader? I can't.
Ripster.
Ripster maybe goes with El Sordo. But anyways, the funniest part was they have these rocks. They have to move these rocks in order to lift a submarine. Also, they can lift submarines. Like
they're strong.
At that point, I was just like, okay, these monsters,
what can't they do?
These half sharks, half people are legit because they could lift the submarine up. But El Sordo pulls out his sword to like hit the rocks. I was like, what are you fucking doing, man? And then eventually he's just like pushing the rocks out.
Well, dude, El Sordo is also clutch because he's the only one who doesn't need the suit. Did we mention that?
Yeah, no, I don't think we did. Yeah, okay. He seems fine. I mean, he must be. Yeah, he
must be more fish than he is human.
And maybe that's part of it because I there is some backstory to him that is true, that he is more fish. He is more fish than they are technically.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to get to it. But they then have to lift the submarine and like, hey, let's be careful. They have to adjust to the pressure. And I was like, Jesus, what are you doing? I want you to be the writers like, stop. No. Like, you still have a whole sequence of this monster having to fall in love. Like, you don't need to readjust.
No, we need to bring
pressure.
this stuff up. Yeah, we need to.
And then they bring it up, and the whole crew of like 6 people are super psyched, and they come out.
They just open.
Oh, thank God. But then they leave. They're like, get out of here. And they're like, we have because I can do. And then off they go. And then they start fighting the monster again. They all jump on top. But El Sordo, by petting the monster, ?
So what's going on? He's
like
doing
rubbing.
What he's doing. Yeah.
He's rubbing that thing. And then like.
He's like, hold on, guys. Let's just be nice to it. Let's see what happens. Maybe he just needs a friend.
Yeah. He's got the monster head sticking out from between his legs, and he's rubbing this monster head. Yeah. And he's like, actually, this thing just needs a little loving, if you know what I mean.
And they're all like, oh, we know what you mean.
Yep. And so all of a sudden, even though this monster, we've seen it sink multiple ships and kill many people, it just wants to be loved. And you know what? It needed to stand its ground and defend its territory. And despite using lethal force against American citizens,
it's all in the name of love,
right? And he's just lonely, so it's all okay. He's just a lonely person trapped in his rift, and he just needs another monster to come over and sit with him in his rift.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so the street sharks come up with this amazing idea.
Yeah, and they have to do it quick because the admiral's coming, and the admiral's flying with the full Pacific fleet. He's got the whole Pacific fleet with him. And they don't. It's a kid show, so they kind of blurkle it out. But he does pull his dick out. I mean, I think they were trying to be accurate, just like most of this thing. They were trying to be really true to the story.
Yeah,
they had it, but they blurkled it out just because they don't want the kids to see that. Come on,
right? Yeah,
they don't want that. But El Sordo can stand on a monster head and rub it a whole bunch and be like, it just wants to be loved. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So they start playing the monster's voice through all the underwater speakers on the entire U.S. Navy fleet.
Yeah, everywhere.
To try to communicate. I mean, they're just casting lines everywhere they can. They're like, there's got to be one other four-headed. Yeah. They make some pretty good quotes here. They're like, what are we going to do? Just put out a personal ad? One four-headed monster looking for a non-smoking or something shit like that. It was like, this is incredible.
Yeah. And then they actually get a hit. And basically the fleet comes. They drop President Horn's name like I've never seen anyone. Like, they are legit celebrities, and they come up and be like, you want to talk to the fucking president? Because I got him in speed dial. Get out of here.
Oh, dude, they literally have this phone from like circa 1985.
He tosses it over to this admiral.
Because the admiral's like, we're going to blow that thing the hell up. He's like, get out of my way. And then it's Streaks. He flies over there on his little jet setter thing and throws in the phone. He's like, oh, Mr. President.
Check it out. And he's on first name basis. He's like, Dave's on the phone.
Yeah.
David Horn. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you might have heard of him. He's Commander-in-Chief. It's like, okay, I guess we'll back off.
I guess we have to, because he's the commander-in-chief. And then he hops in a technological feat unseen before in the history of man. They have this little helicopter-y thing with a net, and this giant. How much does that monster weigh?
Oh, it would be diced up into a million pieces if it jumped into a net.
It jumped in the net, no problem.
Helicopter didn't even move.
That thing could probably launch into outer space. Just how like powerful it is. That engine's. It's crazy. I don't even understand it.
It could literally wrap the net around planet Earth and move it like out of orbit.
No, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it when they did it. I was just like, that's the silliest thing I've ever seen. But anyways, they fly the monster over, finds this other monster. They have lovemaking music, both when they were like sending out the thing.
It's the saxophone again.
Like it's all like crazy lovemaking music. The monsters are totally into each other. They're all got. They make jokes about like having a shark dating service, and everyone becomes really uncomfortable because I think they don't really know how to deal with the idea of like there being no other half. There's no half woman, half shark. So like, would they then date sharks? And are they supposed to have sex with sharks? And like, one of them even calls the other guy a freak. Like, oh, you're such a freak. But like, what are they really supposed to do? And like, also, it's like maybe that shark's real sexy, right?
Yeah, man, they might be.
And then what are you supposed to do? You're half shark, half man.
You just do what you got to do.
I think you're a bigot if you don't.
I think they would have sex with women, right?
Human women?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I think they could have sex with either, though.
I would assume that they're still attracted to human women, though.
You know what? Actually, you're right. And this comes back to El Sordo. The big question is whether El Sordo would have sex with marlins. And I'll get
Definitely.
to that.
He would have sex with marlins.
Yes.
I'll get back to that.
I will get back to that. No,
At least he can breathe underwater while having sex with them. That's all I'm saying. Like, even
good
the
point.
thing.
Good point. I think this is that becomes an ethical issue at that point of how you are going to have sex with that shark.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah, I think we answered that question. That was going to be my post summary question, but I think we answered it already.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to do some grades.
Grids?
Ratings.
Oh.
Ratings. It's out of 6, remember, because we don't do a full 12-incher for these submersibles, because who could really think there would be a 12-incher? I mean, obviously this is a 12-incher, but who could possibly think that like a Street Sharks episode would stand up to something like Hunter Killer starring Gerard Butler? Like, get out of here. No way.
It's pretty incredible. I think we actually took longer to describe the show than what it would take to watch it.
100%.
We did.
100%.
Yep.
So he's going to start with grades. Ratings.
I think it was ratings. Yeah, ratings.
Who wants to go? I'll go.
Go. Yeah.
Fine. I had not watched Street Sharks since I was young. I mean, I used to watch the show all the time. I had all the action figures, especially Big Slamoo. That was the big whale shark.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember the commercials where he had his ripped arm. All of them are just totally ripped.
Of course. And they got
Wicked
6 packs.
packs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just really vascular arms, everything. It's
For
great.
sure. Yeah, veiny, really veiny arms.
Yeah. And, they would always show him like smashing the graham cracker in half. And I was like, that is the toy I want.
The hammerhead is the weirdest one, because when, not to spoil anything that may come up, but
Yeah.
you know, there's you can see what the toys are. The hammerhead shoots its head at people, but then it doesn't have a head.
That's what the toy does.
Right, but why would it not have a head?
You don't need one.
I feel like
He's also described as the laziest Street Shark.
Vin Diesel debuted that one in commercial for Street Sharks, or
it wasn't a commercial. I think it was
promotional.
A promotional thing at the Toy Fair 1994, apparently.
Wow.
And he described the Street Sharks as round mounds of pound.
That's right.
Dude, that is...
He coined that phrase. No one had ever said that before.
Round mounds of pound. I don't think anyone's ever said it since, until like right now. But anyways, this show is so action-packed. It's a mile a minute. You don't have time to even like blink. You're just like, what is going on? There's so much going on. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I love it. It just brought me back. Out of 6, give it a 5.5.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Gosh.
Now, would it gone to a 6 if it was like all submarine all time? Is that what would have gotten you up to that 6?
Yeah, probably.
Because it wasn't a lot of submarine. You got to admit that.
No, that's true. It wasn't.
Yeah. There was bathysphere. There was submarine. Mm-hmm. And then there was their suits. I guess they were kind of submarines at that point themselves.
Yeah.
But
well, we had 2 bathysphere scenes, you know?
Yeah. And the one was souped up. It was pretty cool.
Did we also mention that the submarine had windows? Did we ever say that?
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that.
But it's unbelievable.
Amazing.
They like looked outside. They're like, help, we need air.
And then they were waving.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah. I'll go next.
All right.
So I'm going to go a little lower than you. I'm not going to come in all the way at the 5.5.
Oh, you're going to go like a 5.25?
No, but so the thing is I'll say this. 1, not enough submarine for me, obviously.
Okay.
I need a lot more submarine action for what we're doing. Right?
Fair enough.
You've got to admit that. 2nd, every once in a while you watch a film, because I don't know if you know this, but me and Patrick, we watch a lot of bad movies as part of badmovietwins.com.
I've heard of that before.
Did you? Because I just want to clarify, it's badmovietwins.com. Okay.
.com.
And sometimes you'll watch a movie and you'll be like, I can make this, or I could make it better.
Yeah.
And most of the time you're wrong, right? Like it was still made by professional people. That was their jobs, and you can't actually make it. I could write a Street Sharks episode.
Absolutely.
I 100% could write a Street Sharks episode.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And
I think many of us could.
Yeah, and it's just like, it is so ridiculous, and I can't believe you can imagine just how many cartoons were out there and being kind of farmed around. Like, even the people, when you look at it, like, this was made by I guess you'd call it Deke Entertainment, aka Dick Entertainment, DIC Entertainment, Dick Entertainment.
Really?
Oh yeah, and they have 1,000 million shows, so they're just like churning these things out. So I guess you got to have some like people just writing. That's like a writing farm. So you don't have a long time to do it, but like, I could have written this one better probably.
Could you have written the theme song as amazing as what we heard?
No, obviously not. Come on. But anyways, it's just like, It is not great, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I'm going to come in at a 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shall I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Sure. So, as part of badmovietwins.com, that's badmovietwins.com. Recently I've been watching like a lot of television shows that were made after movies. So I watched the pilot of the Highlander series, which is not a cartoon. But then I watched the Godzilla the series, which was the direct sequel to the 1998 Godzilla film by Roland Emmerich.
They made is that animated?
That's an animated film.
That's
an
animated
TV show.
And there's 100% submarines in it, by the way. Definitely.
Oh.
But
so I was going to say, I know there's new Godzilla on Netflix. That's actually really legit.
It probably has submarines in it too.
Not that I've seen yet. It's more like outer space and they come back.
Oh,
but
really?
anyways, I digress.
Not as interested.
This one was very silly, but at the same time, like I was actually surprised at how entertaining Godzilla was. And even then, I would say like that wasn't a very good cartoon. Like there's like gargoyles, and there's like Ghostbusters, and then it's like Godzilla '98 comes in at some point, and Street Sharks is below that. So I can't even go to 4 because I would put Godzilla at 4, maybe 4.5. So I'm going to go 3.5 because
3.5.
I find it extremely
disgusting,
bizarrely entertaining. Yeah, I'm glad I live in England. Yeah. Otherwise, Kyle might be punch me in the face, find me and punch me in the face. But I find it like weirdly entertaining to watch a show. I watched a bunch of different episodes, a lot of them involving very special episodes of them preventing teenagers from taking drugs, and it's just unbelievable. The entire show is just like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just so weird. I think the writing is just so weird, and I think it probably happens with a lot of these shows where they'll say something and it'll just be like, "Wait, what?"
Dude, they're out there just trying to change lives, man.
No, it just seems so strange. Like it's almost like, did you not know? Like that's a really weird thing to have written. It's just really weird.
It has to be.
Okay.
Dude, it's half man, half shark.
A bunch of this sound, like it literally sounds like a 60-year-old man writing a kids television show because it was, and no one like stopped to be like, no, you got to change that. That line does not make sense. No one's going to know a Karen Carpenter song. Keep the love lights on. Like, come on.
These kids aren't going to know how tough the hide of a Sherman tank is.
Come on. Just at least take out Sherman.
Yeah, I know.
Tough as a tank. Why do you have to be specific?
Yeah.
You are so old.
All right, 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
All right.
Well, guys, I think you guys have pretty much covered everything I could really say, but I mean, I'll pile on a little bit. I think the action figures were a lot more memorable to me. Like, I remember owning the action figures more than I remember any of the episodes or any of the plots of the episodes or anything really from the cartoon. But I definitely remember the action figures, which I love. So there was some nostalgia going back. I actually tried watching this a couple of years back when it was on Netflix, because a buddy of mine was like all excited that it was on there. And I watched one episode. I'm like, I can't do this. This is way worse than I remember. And this one wasn't much different. It's so silly and shallow. And I actually like the second half of the episode a little better. Just because it was so stupid that it had merit again at that point. With
the idea that they fell into the like just a classic trope of it just wants to be loved and it needs friends, where it's just like, you got to be fucking shitting me. This thing is destroyed like 1 million lives.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
And the episode just stopped on a dime too and went that road. Like it was just all of a sudden
they're like fighting him. I was like, I don't even know how you came to this conclusion.
Wait a second, he doesn't have a love light in his eyes. What the? Guys, this guy doesn't have love. What are we doing?
Somebody get this guy some love. Let's go.
So it was ridiculous.
It may come down to El Sordo, and I'll get to that. Don't worry.
El Sordo I liked. I looked it up. I didn't remember him because they didn't make an action figure for him. They just had production shots. So that was kind of interesting to see the production photos of what that was going to look like, but never saw the light of day. But this, again, not nearly as interesting as the toys. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's what I originally wanted to come in, but I just had fun watching it, so bumped up to 4.
Oh my god, dude! It was just,
I don't know.
the whole time it was just like, oh my God, there's so much action.
I had so much fun watching it that when I first watched it, because it was the second time I watched it, I started watching it and was laughing so hard at it that I sent Patrick the link, and that's how he's watched it 3 times. It's because I was like, you have to fucking watch this.
Oh yeah.
It is ridiculous. All right. Yeah. Shall we get into some trivia real quick?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I had to kind of scramble a little bit because I got to tell you, they don't have a huge amount of trivia, especially for an individual episode. They have none. But I kind of did some backstory stuff. So they mentioned the Scylla. It's a sea monster in Greek stories. Now, the description of the Scylla in Greek mythology is a maiden with 6 dog heads attached to her. So it's a human with 6 dog heads. So I didn't see that.
The Scylla of Greek myth.
Yeah, exactly. The admiral was a pretty weird dude.
Yeah.
And then the funniest fact about El Sordo is that he is the only transformed human in the series to keep his original name, because his original name was El Sordo.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's perfect.
His actual original name. Another thing about him is that he's the only one who merged with another animal. So he was a circus performer and had this marlin that was his like part of the act, and he merged, he merged, so he actually has the memories and part of the mind of a marlin, and maybe that's how he knows all this shit, right? And part of maybe why he can breathe underwater and why he knew that the animal the monster just wanted love is because he actually has part of his mind is marlin.
He's part fit. Well, he's got fish brains.
Whereas the street sharks have human brains, but have just been physically transformed into half shark, half man, and so that's why another point why they probably wouldn't have sex with sharks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But El Sordo may.
He would swing both ways.
Marlin, right, for sure. Yeah.
I think he would do both.
Interesting.
Because he has the mind.
For sure. No. You think.
We got a real limpet situation.
I'm 100% sure that he would. Anyways, the only piece of trivia on IMDb for the entire series or individual episodes is that it coined the phrase Jossum.
Dude, what a phrase.
I got to say it's accurate. Accurate statement.
I now say quite frequently. Instead of saying awesome, I now say Jossum.
You say that in the scientific papers that I write. Usually I say the results are Jossum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jossum job on that presentation this morning, Berta.
Exactly. So anyway, the writer of the episode is Jeff Whitney, small-time director back before starting writing for kids' TV. So in the 80s and stuff, he directed films.
Interesting.
More importantly, he directed a film called Iced, where a bunch of friends are invited to a posh ski resort, only to be targeted by an old nemesis with murderous plans.
Was that in the 80s? That sounds like an 80s
88.
movie. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's good for our season 2. Extreme sports. If you can, I think skiing, there are probably some sick ski jumps.
Oh, there have to be some.
As for the director of this episode, and that was the writer of this specific episode, the director of this episode is Ron Harris. He kind of ran the show from seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And he was an art department guy back in the 80s and 90s before making his way to kids' TV. And I would like to highlight, he had a Christopher Lambert, Christopher Lloyd buddy film that he was the storyboard artist on called Why Me?
Really?
Yeah. But I had to pass that one up to highlight the 1987 film Hunk, where a computer nerd makes a deal with the devil for a new beefcake body. And you think, what's the conflict there? Right. Apparently, it's not so easy being a beefcake.
Who plays the beefcake?
Tough times.
No one you would know, or no one that anyone would know.
I was hoping it was going to be like Hulk Hogan or Roddy Piper or something.
It was not. All right, so finally, to get to our other casting opportunities for Street Sharks. So Street Sharks was made by Dick Entertainment, aka Deke Entertainment.
Also, the worst name, and we were looking up just an old logo.
Yeah,
and it just says the incredible world of Dick.
guys, check the Discord when you get a chance.
Okay, and they have like the Dick. What is it? The Dick Kids Network or something? Yeah. Like, come on. What are you doing?
Come on. So anyways, they made a bunch of TV shows, TV movies, and even some theatrical releases. So what other actors from Dick Entertainment would have been good in this episode of Street Sharks? How about Tim Curry and Whoopi Goldberg, which was an animated A Christmas Carol film or TV movie that they made.
Tim Curry in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who do you want him to be, though?
He could definitely have voiced like the... Oh, yeah. Or the angry...
El Sordo? Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think the angry, like, captain guy.
I would say the Admiral or El Sordo, I think. I think El Sordo, you want him to be a good guy. He's Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Right? He's never been a bad guy in anything.
Never.
Remember he was like a fun clown.
Yeah, Muppet Treasure Island. Great guy.
Great guy. Good guy.
And Whoopi Goldberg's the female Scylla, right?
Hey, come on. Let's not be sexist.
I don't know. Were there any other female characters?
She's just screaming into a microphone, making these monster noises. Is that Whoopi Goldberg?
So there is a female character in other episodes, though, so she can play her, I guess.
Oh, okay. So she doesn't get any screen time now.
Great.
But
other ones. Yeah, sure. Main character, right? She was a pretty big character in the series.
I think she's supposed to be like a love interest of one of the Street Sharks. Ooh.
That's a little strange. So what about Jim Varney? Because they made Hey Vern, It's Ernest.
Oh, like that is Ernest, right?
Well, it's the first thing he did. It was a TV show based on these ad campaigns.
But Jim Varney is
Jim Varney is Ernest. Yes.
Is Ernest.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely the Admiral. He's got that nice scratchy voice going for it.
Yes, he does.
What about Paul Walker from Meet the Deedles, made by Dick Entertainment?
Meet the Deedles. Dude, Paul Walker is Ripster for sure.
Straight up.
He also loves sharks.
Does he?
Did. But yeah, he was in Shark Week.
Rest in Peepster, right? Rest in Peepster? Ripster? Is that why you said it? Because he's dead.
No.
Oh.
But I guess that works.
Yeah. What about the New Kids on the Block? Because they made a New Kids on the Block animated series.
They can just be all of the Street Sharks.
Yeah, I think that's actually, so now, where's Paul Walker now? I guess he's
the cool guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like the inventor guy.
Yeah, he's like, hey,
word
My name's Paul Walker.
And then finally, Ed Harris. Now, he had a short-lived live-action animated series, so he appeared both animated and live-action in the series. It was called Ed Harris's Dictionary Adventure, where he had an adventure related to a new word each week.
Oh.
Right? Unfortunately, it was canceled after a week due to gratuitous nudity. But Ed Harris knows no other way.
He's the voice of Dave Horn, the President of the United States.
Good
but
one.
it's a much bigger part. A much bigger part.
It's a huge part. It's actually half the episode is Horn just taking care of business.
Yeah. They just like all of a sudden cut over and it's just Ed Harris sitting in a chair smoking a cigar.
Working out. He's doing bicep curls in one hand, cigar in the other.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He's got the VP just feeding him whiskey on the rocks.
Like, what up?
You ever been this ripped, bro?
And the VP goes, no, you're Ed Harris. Get out of here. Anyways, we'll finish up with a little Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
Now, Phantom Zone, and you'd think, hard, right? I don't know. Gary Chalk, voice of El Sordo.
Yeah.
Even in this specific episode. He was a voice actor in a shitload of things, but also legit played a named character in the 2014 Godzilla film, where Godzilla chowed down on a submarine. And I believe Brom hated this film. He just hated it. Godzilla, 2014.
Wait, is this the one with Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right? Was that the one you hated? I actually forgot this joke, whether you actually disliked any of these films.
It was, it still is Kong Skull Island.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, I hated that film too. That's weird.
Anyway, that film also featured Bryan Cranston, and he was in Time Under Fire, and you know that was cheap because they misspelled his name in the credits. Larry Poindexter was in Time Under Fire and Steel Sharks with Gary Busey.
No way.
Gary Busey was in Under Siege, obviously, which also features Glenn Marshauer. Glenn Marshauer was in Pearl Harbor, and we can get to Billy Fichtner from there. And just to note, this was a Street Sharks to Steel Sharks combo platter.
Oh!
So.
Double shark action.
It was.
Jawsome.
That was definitely a Jawsome Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
If I can say so myself.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we are foregoing Subs Worldwide.
There wasn't really a
Save
sub
time.
to highlight either, I don't think. You could have highlighted bathyspheres in general, but
That would have been... You're right.
you could have.
This is what we call a missed opportunity.
Right. But we want to keep these things short, and that's why I continue to do exactly how long that I normally do. And I said, let's get rid of Subs Worldwide.
Yeah, that's why we're
I do have a game, but
approaching
I
an
can
hour.
No. You got.
No,
I think
you
we do
keep
the whole
it long.
thing. Yeah.
We're just cutting mine.
Yeah.
It's Subs World Wide.
So mine is all about the puns that are in the titles of Street Shark episodes. So this week's episode was 20,000 sharks under the sea, I believe.
Right.
Logical.
20,000 leagues under the sea. Right.
So I'm gonna give you a description of a Street Shark episode, and you have to. I'm gonna give you 3 options for the title, and you have to tell me which one is correct. And let's just say you guys can work together. I don't really care.
Okay.
All right.
So this is the first one. The Street Sharks go to Washington, D.C. to save President David Horn from being gene-washed by Dr. Paranoid as part of his plot to control President Horn after he successfully gene-washed Vice President Russell. Was this episode called First Shark, President of the United Sharks, or Salamander in Chief?
I think it's called First Shark.
First Shark? You think it's
First Shark? Yeah. I think they all have to have shark in the title unless that, like, they change that rule later on.
For Salamander in Chief.
Yeah, Salamander in Chief.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
What's the second one again? Sorry?
President of the United Sharks.
Gosh, that just really sucks.
That's a bad title.
But it might be it.
Could be it, yeah. I think
It's
it's
not
First Shark,
Jossum
though.
at all.
Is that your final answer?
No. First, are we all going First Shark?
I think so, yeah.
Sure.
Correct.
Oh, clutch. I like
right.
Salamander in Chief.
I made that one up. Yes.
Good job, Patrick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The second one. Rox is back in town for the Fission City Music Awards and plans to play the evidence that would expose Dr. Paradigm's gene-slamming activities.
Oh, shit.
Was this one called The Shark Rap, Rockin' Shark, or Shark Fight?
Shark Fight?
Dude, Shark Fight sounds like a great name of some kind of shitty action movie.
What's the pun of Shark Fight, though? That's what makes me think it must be Shark Fight, because...
I should make it clear, I will not explain any pun.
Good, good. We don't need it. We're just thinking out loud.
I kind of like Jamie's line of thinking here that Shark
Well, the thing
Fight
is, I guess this must be Shark Bite or something, turned into Shark Fight, but what does it have to do with the rock and roll theme?
Yeah, like
of it?
Shark.
Can you read them one
Shark
more time?
Fight,
Shark
you already got
Fight is
Shark.
really taking over the conversation. I can't think of anything other than Shark Fight.
Shark
The
Rap.
Shark Rap, Rockin' Shark, or Shark Fight? I am.
I feel like Rockin' Shark would be like Rockin' Sharkoon or something like that.
I don't know. Rockin' Shark's definitely possible. Shark Rap is just too lame, even though, I mean, obviously it would be lame just in its own right to be the Rockin' or the Shark Rap. But
you want to be a shark rapper?
It's just tough.
I think
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Gotta go Shark Fight.
Right?
Shark Fight.
Yeah, we're doing
Come
Shark
on.
Fight.
Shark Fight.
Nailed it. Shark Fight is the correct answer.
No.
That's the right one. Got to think about
What
it.
does that want to play on?
I know exactly. No, it's Shark Bite, but I don't really see how it applies.
I
to
thought
the
it was
You
episode.
should be.
Oh, Street Fight, maybe? Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, at the time when Big Slamoo prepares for Fission City's comic book convention at a local convention center to meet his favorite comic book writer, Jake Langstrom, Bullseye learns about comic books and follows Big Slamoo to the convention center. At the same time, the Raptors head to the munitions and armament section of the convention center in order to steal the latest weaponry there. Is that called the Incredible Shark, Iron Shark, or Super Shark?
All right. I want to watch that episode because what is going on at this convention center?
Why is there
amazing.
munitions? Why is there like advanced weaponry there?
Well, haven't you ever been
future.
to any kind of? Haven't you ever been to any convention, Jamie? I mean, obviously it's everywhere.
Yeah, just advanced weaponry everywhere.
Yeah, like, is that a laser gun? Let's try it.
Same again. Sorry.
I wish this one was
Incredible
also
Shark,
Fight.
Iron Shark, or Super Shark?
It's going to be Super Shark or Incredible Shark.
Agreed. It's not going to be Iron Shark.
I feel like
No way.
don't you think it's Super Shark?
I hope it's Super Shark.
Iron
I think
Shark's really stupid, though.
It is really stupid. That's a valid point. It's a valid point. Do you want to go Iron Shark?
There's advanced weaponry involved. You know, there's almost double use there.
I think we got to go for it. Let's just go for it.
Iron Shark?
Yeah, we got to
Iron
throw
Shark.
caution to the wind. Iron Shark.
Wrong. It is Super Shark.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
Brom.
No, you know
blew
what?
it.
I think the problem is we were overthinking it because these titles are really bad. So
Yeah. All right. Second to last. The Street Sharks are framed and brought out of hiding by Sharkbot, the robotic machine built by Dr. Paradigm. The Street Sharks must once again defend their reputations and take on Sharkbot. Is this, do androids dream of electric sharks?
oh my god.
Yes.
Shark of Steel or the Sharkinator?
Oh, I think it's a Sharkinator, right?
It's got to be the Sharkinator.
I like Sharkinator.
Yeah, Sharkinator.
But I really wish it was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sharks?
I agree. I really wanted to do that.
Would be...
Yeah, so that one was my obvious fake one, but it is actually Shark of Steel.
Oh, no. Bad. You know what? We got to think of what's
Shark
the
of
worst
Steel would have been the comic book one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's Super Shark.
Great. And then final one. The street sharks have suddenly become human again due to a formula made by Dr. Pyranoid as part of his plot to keep the street sharks human permanently, which sounds like a great thing, but okay.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that he just really regrets his decision to turn them into super sharks.
Into superheroes that could lift up, submarines and stuff. But this is either called, To Shark or Not to Shark, The Taming of the Shark, or Questioning Their Sharksuality.
Oh, no way.
I think it's To Shark or Not to Shark.
I think it's To Shark or Not to Shark, yeah.
Yeah, I only kept that one in so I could have questioning of their sharksuality at the end. It's obviously To Shark or Not to Shark. I couldn't actually think of one that was even would compete with it, so. Yeah, you guys actually did really well. I mean, I think you should have had
we would have got 100 if we like that was a practice round. If we had another round, we'd definitely get 5 out of 5. Because now we got a hang of it a little bit, and clearly we not only could we write a script, but we could write a much better title than any of the ones that.
But would it be better? Or I think Patrick already has the titles we need, man.
Exactly, that's what I mean, though. Like those are all better titles.
Salamander in Chief followed up by Do Androids Dream of Electric Sharks.
That's a great title. And you don't like titles can be clever like that. They don't have to be stupid for children because no one cares and the children don't care.
Yeah.
So just make it funny.
Great.
Yeah. It's not like the words
it's
that
like
actually
you're reading
speak.
my mind. This is exactly what I was thinking.
If we got rid of the rule that it has to have shark, but had something shark related, like fin or bite or tooth or something, to be way easier.
Well, my thought was that Salamander in Chief, he was being turned into
a
salamander type creature.
Do you know what he was being turned into for that?
No idea.
Well, if it's a salamander,
yeah, it'd be crazy.
That they didn't use it? Yes, I agree. Anyways.
I've got a good title. You guys tell me what you think about this.
What?
It's just called The Fin Job.
The fin job?
Yeah.
How about the Talfin job?
Yeah, Fin Man's a good one.
Fin Man, I like that.
Fin Man. The Fin Man.
It's just the puns. They're just coming. They're coming quick. All right.
Yeah. Tube 3 ready to fire, sir. Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3. Give it to me.
All right. Excellent. Guys, since we don't have Zach tonight, but I still have to do, my little countdown. We don't have Zach facts, but have you guys ever heard of Jordan facts?
No, I haven't.
Well, let me enlighten you a little bit. Let me give you a little background about a gentleman named Jordan Miner. In the mid-2000s, with the dawn of Wikipedia and various digital fandoms and forums, a young man, Jordan Miner, embarked on a juvenile social experiment. Long before Jordan would become a journalist for Geek.com, he saw the opportunity to have some fun with a show he remembered as, and I quote, a kitsch piece of 90s pulp culture trash. That show was Street Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Using the user-edited website TV Tome, Jordan became the mischievous editor for our favorite cartoon about hybrid shark teens. The lies he weaved would have a far greater impact than he would have ever imagined. This is Jordan Facts.
Nice.
Jordan Facts, it's Jordan Facts. When you're going down,
get some Jordan Facts. So
cool,
Jordan
we don't have
Facts,
to put it in there. It's just all ready to go.
It's good to go. So here we go. First Jordan fact, and these are great. I've got the fact, and I've got some of the impact that it had. He created the character Meat Hook, voiced by Henry Winkler. This was listed on the cast on Google search up until 2016, I believe. You would still see Henry Winkler listed as a cast member.
I think I saw
on Street Sharks.
I'm not joking. I think I saw that he was.
Well,
It would
maybe
be funny if
saw
I had
it-
just used that in Phantom Zone or
Yeah.
something. Like, oh,
And Henry
Winkler was Meat Hook.
Well, maybe you saw
Try
it on
again.
Netflix because it was also listed on the cast during the Netflix release. In fact, he was listed as the 4th actor on it.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. He also added Carrie Payton, who you might recognize as, I forget what his character's name is, but I've seen that he's on Walking Dead. He's got the dreadlocks and the tiger or whatever. He was the voice of Moby Lick, and he also had Adam West doing some voices as well. And those were all listed on the Netflix and IMDb pages of the respective actors as well up until like 2016.
Yeah, Henry Winkler.
Incredible.
Henry Winkler is still on the movie database. He's the 3rd actor listed on the movie database page.
Wow.
For Street Sharks.
Yes.
It was also
Not for long, right, Patrick?
Yeah, I could remove it.
So it's been on there since 2003, or at least that's when he wrote that Henry Winkler voiced the fake character Meat Hook. But the funniest one with this, it was described in a essay on a site called Project Landmine as the rock bottom for Henry Winkler's career.
Wow.
Come on.
So pretty good. This one was also just really funny. He named some episodes, and I think he missed the bit. Like he said, he did it all from memory. He knew actually a lot of the voice actors from memory because I don't know. He said he just had fun. That was like one of his little quirks, is he remembered the actors and stuff like that, which I kind of do a little bit too. I like to keep, I like to know my actors and actresses. I know their names and stuff, but he actually created it all from memory, but he forgot that all the episodes were named after sharks. So he created a bunch of episodes. And one of the funniest ones to me was called Goin' Clamando.
Oh,
Which, if
sounds
you look up on
raunchy.
if you look on Urban Dictionary, it refers to women going commando, basically.
Oh, wow.
He
now, it
also
should
created.
be noted, Clamando is one of their nemesis.
He is a real nemesis, which is hilarious. But he's
A
also an
mutant
oyster, which
clam.
goes back to Jamie complaining about the mislabeling of the characters. Oyster named Clamando.
Oh, it says on Wikipedia it says it's a clam, but yeah, if he's we
He's
can't argue
definitely
with
an
that.
oyster.
If he's we
Definitely
gotta
an
watch the
oyster.
episode. Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
Jordan also created the character Roxy, which was the fake 5th Street Shark and only female shark protagonist on the show.
They
This
100% should have had that, but whatever.
This was listed by many forum goers as one of their favorite characters. One fan dreamed of the show being recast with Famke Janssen voicing Roxy. But it never existed.
That's
My
funny. That's
word.
funny because you can definitely 100% imagine that shark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You could sit there and be like, "Oh, there was a female shark named Roxy," and then you could have an image of your mind in your mind of that shark.
there's fan art of what she would have looked like now. It's pretty good.
Does she have hair in the fan art?
Yeah,
I
she
She
imagine
does not.
hair.
She's pink.
wearing, like,
she
a
has
bra
a
swimsuit
diamond on her
probably.
fin, and she wears a pink swimsuit bikini top, polka dots. And she has a bunch of pink lipstick, hot pink lipstick.
Oh well, that's not necessary, but
But lastly here, we're going to wrap up with Street Sharks the movie, the Shiva Saga. This was a fictitious movie based on Street Sharks, but nonetheless, IMDb user Ginger87 picked up on it and wrote a review for the movies, even going as far to say that he owns it on video. Never existed.
Oh, my gosh. People.
I mean,
So,
it is obviously alive. It's a Street Sharks movie would be called Street Sharks. It's Jossum. Or the Street Sharks
Yeah.
Jossum movie.
probably.
The Jossum Chronicles, Street Sharks the movie. But that is Jordan Facts. So thank you, Jordan Miner. If you guys want to read more about this article, it's a fun read on geek.com.
That's awesome.
Awesome. We'll post a link to
It's-
it.
it's
also.
what?
Wait,
Sorry,
sorry. That's Jossum.
It's
Oh,
Joss.
Jossum.
Yeah, guys.
It's Jossum.
Okay, we go.
Tighten it up,
We have to
guys.
start over.
Yeah, start this over.
Redo
Get
the
the-
whole darn thing.
Get the wrench out, tighten up the screws, boys.
Oh. It was disappointing there wasn't any wrench.
And there wasn't a bunch of things. There was fire, obviously. We didn't see any flooding, although we weren't in the submarine pretty much at all. We were only in the submarine.
Little bit.
We were only in the submarine for a second, right? When they said
when they were just like kicking ass.
When they said they had advanced technology.
Mm-hmm. And then they started just launching.
And they were like, we're definitely going to, we can find this monster. And the monster was like, because I can find you. Get the fuck out of here.
They couldn't show the interior of the submarine because so many people were crushed by torpedoes. It was gruesome.
Right.
Gruesome sight.
It's like gruesome. Yeah, only 6 people got out of there. I'm not sure how they even sailed away. But.
All right, have you guys looked at any of the bad guys in this show?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right, tell me what you think about some of these names. Because they get pretty incredible. Now, we've already mentioned Sharkbot.
Yep.
That's just, is what it is. Then we get into stuff like the Slobster.
Okay.
Yes. A lobster.
Pretty cool.
What kind of animal is that?
one.
Is it a lobster?
That's a lobster.
Oh,
lobster.
Sorry.
Yeah,
guys,
I had that one.
On upkeep.
We got Shrimp Louie.
Okay, great. Also a bad guy? Mm-hmm. That doesn't sound like a bad guy name.
No, not at all. No, or maybe he's like a mob boss, Shrimp Louie.
Yeah, maybe.
Then we have Clam Mando, which we already brought up. Reptile.
Who shoots?
Reptile? So he's a reptile?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Eventually they have dinosaurs, right?
Right, yeah.
Yes, they do.
Apparently that was a
spitter.
Apparently that was a tie-in to an existing toy line. Like they already had the toys and they brought them into the Street Sharks universe. So weird. Anyway.
Demented. What a time.
And I think I think where they really hit the nail on the head with some of these awesome names is we have
awesome names.
We have Killamari.
Right. Great.
Yes.
And Tentakill.
Oh. Now if you had to make one up make up one, what would
make up one?
Yeah, you have now you have a bad guy, right? You get to choose any animal. What animal are you choosing?
If
Squid.
I'm the bad guy.
No. You get to. Well, you can be the bad guy if you want. You can imagine being the bad guy. I'm just saying, like, if you had to create one for the show,
Jellyfish.
What animal? Good call.
So we got a squid and a jellyfish.
That's already one of them.
The squid is though, right? Or no?
Is one of them
what about Skrill, the atomic krill?
Oh,
that is cool.
Skrill. Patrick, what would you call the jellyfish?
Ooh, I don't know. Like,
how about just Man-O-War?
I was going to say the Man-O-War.
Oh, yeah, good one. Man-O-War. I'd probably make mine like a stingray.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Yeah, he'd be called Ray.
Just Ray?
Just Ray.
There's a manta ray.
Oh my God.
Oh, there's already a manta ray?
It's Ray.
Yeah.
He's Manta Man.
Right.
I think it's literally just called manta ray, though.
Yeah.
I'd be probably a narwhal.
Good one.
Yeah.
What would you call him? What would you be called?
What would I call him?
Unikill. Like a unicorn.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
that's
like
a good
that.
one.
Very nice.
Unikill.
Unicorn.
How about Scarwall?
Oh, there we go. You guys are thinking.
We're pretty good at this. We should make our own television
so we're doing
show.
a Street Sharks episode.
Yeah. Okay. Eel? They already have an eel. Do they have an eel?
They have an eel.
Do they
I think.
Do they have... what other fish are out there?
Reptile.
Do they have a turtle?
No, they don't have a turtle.
Oh.
Would you call that a fish, though?
Although there's a point in which they want some mob boss wants them to give him the longevity of a tortoise.
Interesting.
Apparently, this
We could
gene
have a
slamming
crab.
technology is amazing.
King Crab.
Or just Crab Man.
I like King Crab.
King Crab.
Leader of the crab people.
And then obviously
That's what he should have been called, Aquaman.
Yeah, I'm going to say Aquaman. Bring it all back.
But yeah, dude, you guys talked to King Crab yet? See if he wants to give you control of the sea or whatever the hell that was?
There's some smash cut in here, probably.
There's not.
Thanks for listening to Submersion. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating on iTunes.